Welcome to Hedwigs Army. Hosted and produced by Josh Clayton and Trevor Feldner.
I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Hello everyone,
If you're new to the podcast, welcome.
and if you are a returning listener, welcome back. I'm Josh,
I'm Trevor.
and this week we will be discussing Chapter 12 of Harry Potter and the Sorcerers / Philosopher's Stone,
The Mirror of Erised.
The Mirror of Desire. Yes, we will. So, before we get into that, however, we do have our weekly Harry Potter news. I have two articles this week that I found.
I actually like this first one.
There was a couple more, but these two really stuck out. First of all, as we all know, J.K. Rowling, aka the Queen of Twitter. She
Really?
has,
That's
like,
her name?
well, just because a lot of her,
Huh.
what do you call it? A lot of her reveals or her hints at, what's to come from Twitter. Or she'll,
Okay, I got
every
you.
once in a while, she'll, pick out, a random tweet and, kind of, give, a not-so-direct response to it. This week, however, it's kind of the opposite. She actually did give a direct response. So somebody had tweeted at her, "What's your favorite fan theory?" And I think that this has been released before, or mentioned before. But
this is a really popular theory, actually.
No, the theory. I think it's been mentioned. I think it's been. I feel like I've heard before that it's her favorite theory. But regardless, it's been confirmed on Twitter on August. This is August 21st, 2015. So I don't know why it's just resurfacing now. But her favorite fan theory is Dumbledore being Death. From the three brothers, the three, whatever they are, the brothers.
And I think a lot of that actual...
The tale of the three brothers. It's been referenced at Dumbledore's death for many reasons.
Yeah, the theory that because he greets, spoiler alert, greets Harry as an old friend kind of thing. That's why that's where I think the theory started getting some traction, and then people figured out there's these other characters that seem to relate to it.
Yeah, it really fit well, and it fit with, and we know that
it's a really thought out theory.
The only two people that from the tale that possessed all three Deathly Hallows were the Master of Death and Death himself. And we know that Harry possessed all three, which makes him the Master of Death. And we know that at one point, Dumbledore, not all at once, but Dumbledore had all three in his possession during his lifetime.
Wouldn't it technically make him Master of Death too? I mean,
no, because he has to have all three at the same time, and he got rid of the cloak before he got the. But my point is, at some point throughout his life, he had possession of all three of them, not at the same time, but throughout his life.
Do you think there's anybody else that would? I mean, other than obviously Harry, that would have had? Because we never get.
No, I mean, I don't know about earlier times, but no, I don't think so. Mainly because, we know the Resurrection Stone has been in the Gaunt family ring for centuries because.
So it's been with the Gaunts.
We know that they also did not have the Elder Wand because there is a pretty, somewhat distinct,
it's had a bloody past, so it doesn't stick to one family.
Yeah, but we know it's been kind of pointed out where it's kind of gone, and we know the invisibility cloak too has also been in Harry's family for a long time.
Which actually brings up
so they've all been different families.
I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but that actually reminds me that if you think about it, that means that Harry and Voldemort are actually in some way, shape, or form related. Distantly related, because
I think we learned that to somewhere.
That Voldemort is the middle brother's descendant,
and Harry is the youngest. Ignotus,
because it passes down from father to son unless there is no male heir.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure It has been, and I feel like in this podcast we'll say a lot. Oh, I feel like I've heard that. Like you have to remember, too, guys, listeners, that
It's been a
on top of facts, I know myself. I can't speak for Trevor personally. I know myself. I've gone through literally so many fan theories. I mean, I've seen fan fiction. I've seen just random things like tangents that somebody would make some type of theory and they'd run with it even if it didn't make sense. So sometimes it becomes, when it's been so long of so many different things, it becomes a little hard to weed out the theory versus the fact. Which is why I say, I feel like I've heard that. I know I've heard that. I know for sure I've heard that Harry and Voldemort are related and something along those lines with the Peverils. I just can't remember if it's canon came from J.K. Rowling or if it was a theory that somebody had picked pieces and put together.
Like if it was in the actual, stated in the book. I don't think it was ever stated in the book.
No, it wasn't stated in the book. That's the thing. That's why Harry Potter is... That's why I love it, but that's why it's the most confusing book series in the world. Because outside of just what's in the book, there has been... You can make an entire... there is an entire universe, basically, outside of just the book series. There's so many things, that wasn't in the book, but we know that because J.K. Rowling said that, and if that means that, then this must mean this, blah, 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 blah.
Right, yeah.
It's insane, and there's no other series I know out there.
She laid some pretty good groundwork for,
that has so much depth to it, like Harry Potter, outside of... And that's the thing, is there's still things we don't know. We still don't know how to make a Horcrux. We still don't know all the 12 uses of Dragon's Blood. We still don't, there's so many things we don't know what happened. We don't know the exact, we don't know the Marauders' backstory. We know pieces of it. We don't know all of it.
Yeah.
There's a big gap between Grindelwald going to prison, which we're learning a little bit about, and Harry Potter being born in that whole first reign. And, I mean, there's so much.
You're talking about the reign of Voldemort,
Yeah, Voldemort.
Right?
I mean... There's so much we don't know yet.
Just so our listeners don't get confused, because that's what I thought you were talking about. Like when you were saying between the time of Grindelwald and the first reign. I didn't want them to get confused.
Well, Harry Potter being born is that.
Okay.
Grindelwald and Harry Potter being born. That whole first reign of Voldemort. But anyways, so my point is, sorry to go on this tangent. My point is though, is if I'm not sure about something that may be fact or not fact, it's not because I don't. It's not because I never heard or because I don't necessarily know, what I'm talking about, per se. It's just I've heard so much, sometimes they just get weeded out, and I don't want to go on the podcast and be like, yeah, I definitely heard this. This is so true, it's canon, because then somebody's going to email me and be like, hey, this is actually not canon, it's a fan theory. So I just, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, I get you.
We're just trying to make sure I don't, that's the thing, I'm not going to pretend I know every single thing about Harry Potter. I would know a very, very, very big majority of almost everything, but my point is,
there are some
there's so much, that's what I'm saying, there's so much fan fiction that seems, fan theories that seem like canon.
Also fan fiction.
Yes, but those are obviously fiction, but I mean fan theories that seem like they need to be canon, so it's just, they just weed themselves into your brain. Anyways, we're going to move on because I still haven't gotten to my second article.
Sorry about that, guys. It's a very interesting topic to talk about.
And I'm hoping this picks up, but I'm going to try this right now. So, Harry Potter...
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, so Harry Potter has a new... Amazon Echo Alexa has a Harry Potter quiz feature now where you can say... Do I say it?
Alexa, play Harry Potter quiz. Oh, wow.
Albums picks up.
Yeah, that sounds like Harry Potter right there.
Welcome to the Harry Potter Quiz, brought to you by Pottermore Publishing and Audible. Every day you'll get 3 new questions to put your knowledge of the wizarding world to the test.
Hey Alexa.
It's time.
Stop. Sorry guys,
playing. Come back tomorrow for 3 new magical questions.
Yeah, we'll go back to it.
Play another one? If you thought official
Okay,
Harry
Alexa.
Potter was fun.
Stop. Sorry guys, I don't want to give too much of a spoiling on that, because then you guys, if you hear it here, you might not be able to do it yourselves. So, but
that's actually
kind of
cool.
And it has the cool music and everything.
So on top of
so if you
question
have,
of the day.
Yeah. On top of that. But if you have Alexa, or Amazon Echo, then feel free to try that out. I just don't want to ruin it for the people that do have it that don't want to
really
get it
cool.
spoiled for them. So, anyways, without further ado, it's all I got for news this week. I mean, got anything on your end over there? Anything
not
your
really.
life that you want to talk about or anything like that?
Not that I can think of, other than the fact that it's been extremely cold this week, so that's been fun.
Yes, it has. Oh my goodness, what a week it was. I don't know wherever you guys are listening from. I don't know if you experienced the deep freeze that most of the United States had this past week, but
heck, even the South got a little bit of taste of that.
Yeah, but
they're like, what's 20
warm
degrees?
and safe inside because it was nasty out. But yeah, I think I don't got anything really. I mean, just streaming as usual. Salty Vulture, if you want to check me out on Twitch. That's about it.
I don't got any news on me.
Then, without further ado, let's jump into the chapter here. So I got my short, little, quick once-over summary. I'm just going to jump right on in it. Let me just get this mic positioned.
And this is a pretty thick chapter.
Yeah, but
considering the other chapters we've had, it's been... Like, when I looked at it, I'm like, that's a pretty decent amount of pages for it.
Right. And I'll get in more into it later, but I actually think this is one of the more pointless chapters, and I'll explain why.
You're saying, like, in the Sorcerer's Stone, right?
Yeah. The
I was gonna say, I was like...
I feel, I mean, there are some chapters that are just kind of to set the mood for the book, but it's just, literally, in my opinion, we'll get into it. I just feel like nothing happens significant in this chapter. And there's one thing that does, and I'll get into it when I get into my notes, but other than that, it's kind of a pointless chapter. Well, there's a lot of them throughout the series, don't worry. But this is the first one I think we've come across. So here we go. Christmas at Hogwarts had come. We found out that Harry will be staying at Hogwarts for the holidays. Ron and his brothers also stayed because their parents went to visit Charlie in Romania. Snape catches Ron lunging at Malfoy and takes 5 points away from Gryffindor, even though Hagrid defended Ron. Harry, Ron, and Hermione head off to the library to look up information on Nicholas Flamel. Harry tried to head into the restricted section, but gets kicked out by the librarian. When the holidays started, Harry and Ron were having the time of their lives. Harry woke up on Christmas Day and had presents, even though he was not expecting any. He opens his sweater and is in awe because he always only got one terrible gift from the Dursleys. Yeah, he still does. He opens a gift from an anonymous signer, and there was an invisibility cloak inside. Alrighty then. Harry heads to Christmas dinner at night and is once again taken aback by all of the food. After Harry's best Christmas day ever, he decided to sneak out of bed and go snooping around the restricted section of the library with his new invisibility cloak. No time wasted there. His search was not going well, and he ended up having to run from Filch after a book opened and started shrieking at him. While running away, he got lost and ended up running straight into Filch and Snape. Of course, he was still under his invisibility cloak. He gets away from the two of them and ducks into a random room. This room had a mirror that showed him his whole family standing behind him. The next morning, he told Ron about the mirror, and they decided to head back there together that night. When they got there, however, Ron only saw himself as head boy and Quidditch captain instead of Harry's entire family. They headed back to the common room, but Harry quickly became obsessed with the mirror. However, when he returns the next night, Dumbledore is waiting for him, and he decides to move the mirror. So
there was a couple interesting things in there.
Yeah, there's interesting things. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, let's get started.
I'll stop being a spaz about it.
Well, here's the first thing. So, like you said, Christmas is around the corner. You know, Hogwarts is covered in a few feet of snow. Fred and George just happen to be throwing snowballs at people, particularly the back of Quirrell's head, which is interesting because we find out later on that's where Voldemort... Is that before or after?
I can't remember. I actually want to look that up because I think it's taken that a lot of time it's after Voldemort's already on his head. But I don't think Voldemort... I can't remember. Let me look. I don't think Voldemort, actually attaches to his head. Oh no, I think.
See, I feel like that's the only.
No,
reason
yeah, I
she would
think
be
he does
pointing
it
out.
after he fails to get from Gringotts. So he would have it as have Voldemort on his head.
Because I think that's the only reason she would be pointing out that specifically the back of the head.
right.
Because why else would you be like,
And
oh,
it
they're
is J.K.
throwing it.
Rowling though, so she's the kind of person she knew ahead of time that she was gonna put Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head. She would put that in just to confuse people or just to trick people. Now I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that I wouldn't put it past her.
Oh, okay. Well, you're looking that stuff up. Find out that owls that make it to Hogwarts through the snowstorms that they've been having have to be tended to by Hagrid, which is kind of cute, you know. Hagrid taking care of owls. He's like, hey, you know, this is before he becomes the teacher for what is the class called?
I'm sorry,
What class does Hagrid end up teaching? Something
Care
about-
for Magical Creatures.
Yeah. I think this is before he gets that class. So it's just interesting that he's taking care of, you know, everybody's owls to make sure they're okay before they go back off. Of course, with all this cold, much of the castle, save the common rooms, we only get to find out about the Gryffindor common room, but it's assumed that all the common rooms would be this way. Or, you know, have raging fires, and of course the Great Hall, where you don't want to eat when you're freezing cold. We find out that. Did you find something interesting?
Kind of. It's kind of. So I'm trying to read off Pottermore. I'm trying to be like off the legitimate websites. So here it says, hold on. Wait, where did it go? Hold on, sorry, my thing's messed up.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna get to another.
Where the heck did it go?
So, at potions, because this is one of the
Okay,
colder
sorry,
places.
I'm sorry, I found it.
Okay.
So it says, when Voldemort realized that the young man had a position at Hogwarts, he took immediate possession of Quirrell, who was incapable of resisting. So it doesn't say exactly on here when, but it says he took immediate possession of him once he found out he was at Hogwarts, which he would have found out
Well,
when he crossed them in Albania. So, if according to Pottermore, what I'm getting from that is once they met in Albania, once
So even before the
Quirrell
trolls and
happened to
everything,
cross him, he took immediate possession of him.
which would explain why Harry's head was hurting and all these other things at the beginning of the school year, even though he thinks that's Snape.
Yeah.
Which actually could have been Snape in some way, shape, or form, partially because we find out that Snape is
However,
really good at reading minds.
However, this says, now this is just off like a random website, but it's quoting I think the book even. It says, he does not forgive mistakes easily. When I failed to steal the stones from Gringotts, he was most displeased. He punished me, decided he would have to keep a closer watch on me. So that kind of implies that he attached to the back of his head right there after Gringotts, after he failed at Gringotts. So I don't know, because Pottermore literally says he once... Now, it doesn't say he took immediate possession of him and then grew on the back of his head. That could mean that he something else. Maybe he doesn't actually have to...
He's like constantly with him kind of thing.
Yeah, like...
Okay.
But, I don't know.
And then after he fails, that time, he's like, oh, no, nah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
So, of course, we're down at potion. Now we're going back to potions. Really cold down there. Draco, being Draco, is bullying Harry and Ron about... I mean, it's more specifically Harry, about not going home for the holidays. Like Josh was saying, Harry isn't going because doesn't really want to be by around the Dursleys. Understandably so. Granted, this is still the first book, but we understand why he doesn't want to be there. And of course, Ron isn't going because Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, and I assume Ginny.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but I'm assuming.
Yeah. It didn't
thought of that
specifically say her, but I assume, like, I'm not just going to leave,
Let it go.
a 10-year-old child by herself at their house.
Right. I think it was just assumed.
But
But
they're
it's
going.
interesting that they didn't mention it.
They're going to Romania, which I found interesting because Romania seems to be a very interesting place to be, considering that's where Quirrell found.
No, Albania.
Oh, I thought it was close to Romania. Like,
I don't.
or no,
think
that was
so.
where he saw the vampire.
No.
Where Quirrell saw the.
No, Romania.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was.
No.
Well, Josh is
Yeah.
fact checking me real quick, which is a good thing because, again, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'll make sure we're putting the right facts out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they're, Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, they're gonna go see Charlie. So Ron and his brothers, they're like, yeah, we'll just stay at Hogwarts, which is kind of nice. Whether that's to keep Harry company or because like it's really expensive to go to Romania, so that might be the other reason that they're not bringing all their children. They're leaving potions class, and they get blocked by Hagrid, who's bringing in the last of the Christmas trees. And of course, Draco, again, being Draco, is now making fun of Ron, saying that, like, oh, you're trying to earn money, and try to become the gatekeeper after Hagrid. So, that's the house must be bigger than yours.
Right.
Kind of deal. And
Just
of course,
being a terrible bully.
Yeah. Of course, that obviously irritates Ron to the point that he lunges at him. It actually ends up in a altercation, which Snape walks in on. Takes 5 points from Gryffindor, even though, like you said,
Of course.
Hagrid is defending them. Typical Snape. 5 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah.
But after he leaves, Harry, Ron, and Hermione end up going with Hagrid. They're talking to him as he's bringing the tree into the Great Hall. And they talk to him about the fact that they've been in the library for the last couple of weeks trying to find out everything they can about Nicholas Flamel.
This is funny because they just give no regards to Hagrid here. There's like, they don't even have the decency to lie to him.
Oh.
They're literally just like, what are you doing in the library for? Oh, looking up. Ever since you mentioned Nicholas Flamel, we've been trying to figure out who he is. Like, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even like, this is Harry's specific quote right here. Oh, we're not working, Harry told him brightly. Ever since you mentioned Nicholas Flamel, we've been trying to find out who he is.
Right.
And Hagrid, of course, is like, you what? Listen here. I've told you. Drop it. It's nothing to you what that dog's guarding.
Right.
Which is just hilarious. They're like, ever since his slip up, they're just like Harry makes it a point to be like, well, I mean, you could just tell us.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, I'm kind of disappointed with him here. Like,
for Hagrid or
no, with the trio, because Hagrid is very like under-regarded, unrespected for his authority and stuff by everybody. And the trio are kind of like the ones
use
that
him from time to time.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say they're the kind of the ones that are like his friend and they help him out and they defend him and stuff and they're there for him. But at the same time, they're really no better than everybody else because you got to think of it this way. And this is a little bit of a stretch, but it's true. If it was Dumbledore, McGonagall, Snape, Quirrell, anybody else, they would have straight up lied about why they're in the library. But because they know that Hagrid's not going to give them the attention or interrupt them or stop them.
Yeah.
Because they don't take his authority seriously.
Yeah.
There's like, nah, ever since you mentioned it, we've been trying to go figure it out, even though you asked us not to worry about it. We've been going behind your back and doing it anyway. Like, it's just kind of like, and they kind of do it all series where they're just kind of like brutally honest with Hagrid because they know. And like, I'm not saying you should lie to him.
I mean, they do help him out, but like,
no,
like you
I
said,
know they
like,
do,
it's
but
still a little messed up.
But I'm just saying, like, it's messed up because I'm not saying lying to him is the right thing to do. I'm just saying, at least for the other teachers, they lie so that they're not like, because they respect them authoritatively. They're like, not like respect as in like, I don't know. I guess that's the wrong word. Yeah, like they actually like respect the fact that they have authority and they acknowledge it. Like, okay, we can't say this or they'll stop us. But with Hagrid, they're like, nah, he's got no authority around here, and they know it. But instead of just trying to
respect him,
instead of just giving him that respect, they're just like, F you, bro. Like, F it.
Just a little bogus, yeah. But so Hagrid's telling them off. The gang's like, yeah, whatever. They head to the library, where, like you said, Harry's wandering around, ends up by the forbidden section.
Right.
Which is interesting because, like, I always thought, like, because it doesn't say it until later in the chapter. I'm thinking, like, oh, forbidden section, maybe, like, it's you have to pull a certain book or something that opens a doorway or something, or, like, there's glass or, it's walled off or something like that. But, like, later in the chapter, you find out, like, literally the only thing separating somebody from going into the forbidden section is a rope.
Well, and Mrs. Pince, who's got a nose for trespassers.
Well, I'm saying
people doing things they're not supposed to be doing in the library. They basically call her the filch of the library.
Right, but I'm saying, like, when she's not there kind of thing, like, literally, like Harry does later in the chapter, like, if nobody sees you, you could just...
Okay, but we're also talking about the same school that puts first of all, no lock up into the forbidden corridor and then in the hallway before the forbidden corridor, and then literally puts the simplest lock that an 11-year-old can charm off of it on a forbidden corridor with a murderous 3-headed dog, where 11-year-olds are running around. Like, they're obviously not super concerned with their safety. Hogwarts is almost more dangerous than being out in the Forbidden Forest.
Okay, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So the forbidden section, I think Madam Pince can handle that just fine.
And speaking of her handling it, notices Harry going up there, and she's like, "You mind explaining what you're doing here?" And he's like, "Nothing."
Right.
And she's like, "Well then, bye."
Yeah, he's like, "Damn, I should have said something," Like,
basically kicks him out.
He's just like, "No, I'm not doing anything here. I'm just here because I'm here."
And like, what's even
like,
better
good,
is like,
get out.
Like, he interprets get out as in like, get out of the library as a whole, not just like from the restricted section. Just like, I see you creeping over here.
No, I think she kicked him out of the entire you're nosing where you shouldn't be nosing. Get out of here now. Because she said, "What are you doing here?" Instead of saying, "Oh, I'm looking for a specific book for school," she's like, "I'm not doing anything." She's like, "Good, you don't need to be in the library then. If you're not doing anything, get out." Because
which is just the way she puts it.
She's like
amazing.
She's like the stereotype of a librarian. Now, obviously, like I've been with librarians. They're not like, "Oh, the library is my bedroom." You know what I mean? Like they treat it like their kingdom.
Right.
And like stereotypically, and that's exactly what she does. Like, oh my God, you brought you what was that? Oh, with the in the 6th book with the potions book that has writing on it.
Mm-hmm.
She like almost like
flips her lid.
She almost faints at the fact that the book had writing on it just because it's a book. Oh,
she would hate this book then that I have.
Like librarians, like they don't. I mean, there will be people maybe that care, but librarians in general don't care about that stuff. It's just funny how it just brings stereotypes to life.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, Harry is now sitting outside for about 5 minutes, waiting for,
just wait
Ron and Hermione to come out. They come out and they're like, nah. We don't have anything.
Right.
So Harry's like, oh, well, this sucks.
Yeah,
we spent, like I said, they've spent 2 weeks trying to find literally everything. They've mentioned all the books that they actually look up.
Right. Now,
books,
I'm a little confused. Go ahead with the books if you got them.
He wasn't in the Great Wizards of the 20th Century, which is interesting because he's 600 years old. They find out later. Notable magical names of our time. He was also missing from important modern magical discoveries and a recent study, or a study of recent developments in wizardry. So, like, none of those books.
Right. Now, two problems I have with it. Number one, shame on the trio. Like, they're looking for something that Dumbledore worked on. They should probably know it's old. I mean, not that Dumbledore's, like, super duper old, but...
Well, but, like, 20th century, like, that would fit with Dumbledore. Because Dumbledore is...
Well, I know, but, like, modern magic, modern name, like, okay, fine. But I'm saying, like, you should think, okay, it's probably not something super modern. It's probably old magic. especially from Hermione. I would have thought better of her, but whatever. I'll let that go. Number
she
2,
does redeem herself later.
kind of.
Because she was looking in the right place, had the right book.
Yeah,
just
but
looking in the
I
wrong
don't
place.
know. Anyways, no, I lost what I was gonna say.
You're talking about the books that they were looking in the wrong books.
I just lost it.
Considering
Dumbledore. I'm disappointed that Nicholas how. So he's he's the greatest alchemist of his time. He created the Sorcerers / Philosopher's Stone, which is one of the greatest inventions. It literally keeps you from dying.
Although, here's the question.
How is he not in any of those books? And he's somewhat relevant. I mean, think about Crimes of Grindelwald. Makes an appearance in that.
Well, and I'm assuming this is in the 20th century when he does this with Dumbledore, that he comes up with the 12 uses of dragon's blood.
Well, I think
wouldn't that literally be?
Yeah, I don't know when that was done, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, Dumbledore is no older than 200 years, so that would be well within the sense. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You would think he would show up in one of those books,
because
just
Dumbledore
his
is
name
born
even.
in the late 1900s or something like that.
No, what 1800s?
1800s.
You said
we're in the 21st century, so
yeah, 1800s,
okay.
18. We had a discussion once already.
Yeah, we did.
Not the 18th century, the 1800s.
Okay, 1800. So the 1870 something. I think when he was born. So it's got to be relatively recent. Your computer loves to do that, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I was just typing on you, weirdo. Anyways, I don't know, but my point is, it's just weird that he's not in any of those books.
Oh yeah,
just,
recent discoveries, wouldn't the use for dragon blood, wouldn't that fall under that?
Yeah, you think so? I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's not that important.
Evidently not.
But it's important enough that it's on a card. On Dumbledore's card. It's important enough to be there, but not important enough to be.
Yeah, I'm is Dumbledore, is there not, a list? I mean, well, I guess they're not looking. Well, see, also, here's the thing. Why they're looking so hard for Nicholas Flamel, they know that Dumbledore worked with him. Why would they not, try to look up...
Well, I think they forgot that he was...
Well, no, Hagrid mentions, he said that's between Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel.
Oh, yeah.
So why would they not try to look up, Dumbledore's greatest achievements? Because literally, if you just look up Dumbledore's greatest achievements, you know what, let's just see if it's on a list of his achievements. It's on his chocolate frog card, so it's going to be... they could probably find that in a book somewhere.
Well, when they find the chocolate frog.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, if they're not looking, obviously they weren't looking at chocolate frog cards, it was by accident, but... And then, after all this time, Harry just randomly remembers. I'm I was kind of disappointed. I'm really? You're going to have him do all his book, can't find it anywhere, but then... Conveniently, Harry just remembers it was on a chocolate frog card.
Well, no, he actually doesn't remember it. It's because of the Christmas present. I'll get to that part in a second. Because it's during when they get presents that he gets chocolate frogs.
Oh, okay.
And on the chocolate frog,
must be thinking of the movie.
And it sparks his memory. He's oh right, that's where I remember seeing it was on.
Right, but either way, yeah, all that and the freaking chocolate. That's what I'm saying. It's not a chocolate. It's popular enough to be on a chocolate frog card, but not in any of the books that combine
modern literature. Yeah, okay, whatever,
right.
Man.
Let's move on. Whatever, it's what it is.
So still haven't found anything on Nicholas Flamel. The holidays come up, which is literally I think the next day is when they start their holidays. So Ron and Harry, they're enjoying themselves. They're playing Wizard's Chess. I mean, Ron is more or less actually teaching Harry how to play.
I feel like the chess pieces are teaching Harry more themselves.
Yeah, because it does say that they're telling him don't move me here. Sacrifice this guy. Really? You don't understand how to... I would love to play Wizard's Chess, to be honest.
Well, they don't have a
real, an actual chess set that moves. Oh,
an app that could do it for you.
I would play that all the time.
Somebody make that so we can play it.
Yes, please. Nothing against the other Harry Potter games, but I'll take that over.
I mean, I'll take Wizards Unite or the RPG when it comes out.
Maybe like a Wizard's Chess version of Wizards Unite.
Right. Yeah, basically. Well, what?
Isn't Wizards Unite like Pokemon Go? Or no?
Yeah, but, okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense to a point, but kind of.
Like an AR version. Like
Well, I know, but...
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay. So, they're enjoying themselves. They, of course, Harry loses every time because he doesn't know what he's doing. Christmas Eve comes, and Harry wakes up to quite a few presents, actually, which is surprising because, again, with the Dursleys, I don't think they ever really give him anything, and if they do, it's like nothing.
No, yeah, like, they gave him...
A 50-cent piece.
Yeah, a 50-cent pence piece.
Which I actually had to look up. I think that's like less than $1.
Which is probably the most money they've given him in years.
Literally less than $1.
Well,
Which is just sad. He gets a sweater from Mrs. Weasley.
which is
and some
the
fudge.
nicest thing so far in this whole series.
Really
Up
want
to
to
this
try.
whole point.
Yeah, I want to try that fudge though that she gives him too.
I don't like fudge.
Oh, come on, man, it's not that bad.
I want that sweater though. I'm probably gonna buy one when we go to Universal Studios.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hey, if we can get a customizable one, I'll take it.
I think you can.
He gets chocolate frogs from Hermione, the infamous ones that we'll talk about later.
Right.
And then an invisibility cloak with a note that doesn't have a name on it, but it has handwriting.
Right.
Find out eventually that's Dumbledore that gives it to him.
Right, which I have some beef with, which we'll get into in a little bit.
You have some beef with it.
I have some beef with it, I do.
Oh, okay.
But but there's one other thing that I have beef with also.
Oh, okay. Harry tries out the cloak, which freaked out him and Ron, because Ron is like, oh, I know what that is. That's really, if it's what I think it is, it's rare.
It's rare.
It's very rare.
It's very rare.
What Ron doesn't know is it's one of a kind, actually.
Yeah.
It's
Well, there are other
really
invisibility cloaks, but this is the actual.
This is like
the legitimate one.
this is the OG.
Yeah, which I actually.
cloak.
A fun fact. Well, I gotta look it up. Go ahead. I actually have a fun fact. I forgot to pull up.
Of course, so it freaks out the boys. They're like, oh my god, invisibility cloak.
Got it.
And as he's enjoying the invisibility cloak, the twins walk in, and they're giving Ron crap. They're like, oh, why don't you put on your sweater? And of course, Ron's like,
Well, not
dude.
Rob, Percy.
No, the twins come in.
Yeah, Percy. They were giving Percy crap. They shove a sweater on him.
No, they asked Ron why he doesn't put it on.
I thought they were just mentioning no, because they come in. They're like, Harry got one too. Over yours, and then they mention that Ron doesn't have a letter on his. But then.
Oh yeah, because he says his maroon. Right?
Yeah.
And then.
But they notice they know that he doesn't have a letter on his. They're like, well, I guess she doesn't worry that you forget your name. We know our names. It is Gred and Forge.
Right. Yeah, they mess up their names. Yeah. I actually forgot that I had a little note on the letter, because it says your father left this in my possession before he died.
Yeah.
It's time I returned it to you. Use it well.
I have a lot. I'm gonna go into all that after.
Okay, because like I had a question like, why does Harry's dad give it to Dumbledore
I
in
know
the first place?
I know the answer to that, but
Because I can't remember if they actually answer that.
Look, I want to go over it because I have a lot of beef with this that I want to just get out of the air at the end.
Okay.
But you are missing something. Are you through all the presents?
Yeah.
Because you missed a present.
Which one did I miss?
Hagrid's. Or did it come late? No, I think it came now. Yeah, we're going for Hagrid.
Let me look.
It's in there somewhere. Well,
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I have beef
the
with this. I have some serious beef with this.
Roughly cut wooden flute.
Yes.
Sounded like an owl.
But it's a flute. Okay, let me tell you why I have beef with this. Let me ask you one question. How do you get past Fluffy?
Oh. Wait,
the only way to get past Fluffy, besides brute force, obviously, is to put her to sleep by playing music.
I thought it was a he.
Huh?
I thought Fluffy was a he.
Oh, whatever. No, maybe it is. Play a bit of music.
Whatever. We'll figure that out
Fluffy,
later. We'll figure
he
it out
or she, the Fluffy, the three-headed animal. The one of the only ways to get past it is to put it to sleep by playing it music. Now, he already let it slip to Harry about that he knows Fluffy. And no, Harry doesn't necessarily know yet that you can play it music to put it to sleep. But him knowing that, and him knowing that he's trying to get past Fluffy to find out what's in it's guarding, he gives him literally a flute, which, like, are you serious?
Puts Fluffy to sleep.
Out of everything you could have gave him, you give him the one, and I don't think he actually uses it for that purpose. But my point, or does he? I can't remember in the books now. I don't think he does. But my point is, like, he could have. Like, you're literally giving him
they use the harp, I think, that's down there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they. Well, see, that happens in the movie. I can't remember how it works in the book, though.
But
either way,
have to review that.
Either way, whether he uses it or not, you're giving him a way to get past Fluffy by, like, are you serious? Like, no, he doesn't know it yet, but you know you're gonna let it slip. It's freaking Hagrid, man. But, like, I can't.
So it's another way that kind of Hagrid slips up. And
yeah, I can't, but, like, out of everything.
Like
and
a plot.
It's almost kind of, like, it's obviously I think it's a major foreshadowing, because I think in the movie, we already know at this point. I can't remember when we find out. But when he mentions Fluffy in the movie, he also mentions you could put it to sleep with music. I can't remember if that's before or after Christmas. But in the books, you learn about them separately. So it's kind of like foreshadowing, like, Hagrid knows their mission. Hagrid knows he's trying to get past Fluffy, so then Hagrid, for his Christmas present, gives him a way to get past Fluffy, even though it's not used that way. Foreshadowing that music puts him to sleep. But, like, Hagrid, bro, you are the worst adult.
Yeah.
I know I just gave the trio crap for not respecting your authority, but, bro, like, you
give them no reason to give
like,
you
why?
authority.
Out of everything you could have gave him. Alright, I digress. Because that's not even the biggest problem I have with this chapter. But I just thought that it was really silly. So, I had to point it out.
So, you know, we find out about Ron's least favorite color is maroon. Hates it with a passion. But, you know, Mrs. Weasley's like, oh, maroon, yay. Like you said, Percy gets his, like, put on him by the twins. The twins are like, yeah, P for prefect.
Right.
And put it on him. Hates it with a passion. I think the twins are the only two that, like, show any signs of, like, it's alright. Everybody else just hates it with a passion. They're like, dear God.
Oh, no, Harry loves them.
Well, I'm saying of the Weasleys, like, the rest of the Weasleys just don't like Percy.
Oh, they
doesn't like it.
Oh, he's a sweater, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think Percy's older, and he's like, I think he's trying to impress a girl or whatever, that one girl. So I think it's just, like, embarrassing for him.
He's like, dude, Mom, come on.
He's embarrassed. I mean, I get it. I went through that teen phase. Yeah, and I think he's a 50-year at this point, so he's, like, 15. So I think he's, you know.
He's getting to that point where he's like, I need to.
I went through that phase. Everybody goes through that phase, but. I mean, I don't like Percy, so don't get me wrong. I think he is the worst person in the entire series until the very, very end, but I don't think he redeemed himself, personally.
Umbridge just got him beat.
No,
heads and shoulders above. That woman is aggravating.
I don't know.
Sorry for people who haven't read that far. You will learn about that woman.
Well,
and
yeah,
she is awful.
Right. I mean, yeah, everyone, most people listening have read through the series, hopefully are going to be super spoiled. Sorry about that, but no. And here's, real quick, just super quick, here's why I think Percy is either worse or a very close match to Umbridge. Umbridge is a garbage human being from the beginning. She's garbage. You know what you're getting with her. From the moment she interrupts Dumbledore at the welcome feast, everyone's like, okay, she's a piece of garbage. Okay? Percy comes from a good family and actually has morals and standards, and he actually isn't a terrible person at first.
And then trashes his family.
And then completely turns his back on it. Like, he is the definition of
a traitor.
Yeah, like at least Umbridge, at least she's a garbage all around. She doesn't pretend, you know. He literally turns his back on his family and it's disgusting how terrible he becomes.
No, I agree
And like
with
you see parts of it with Ron when he like turns away, like when he in book 5 when he like or book
But
4 when he
I can
ditches
understand
Harry.
with Ron. I can understand with Ron. Like you've always
Well,
been
no.
your friend's shadow. So
Right, right. My point is, everyone goes to where like Ron went through book 4, but then you're like, hey, you know what? I'm being a jerk. I should know that my family and my friends aren't going to lead me astray, and I should trust them because they've always been
right,
there
and
for
come
me.
back and at least apologize.
Literally, Percy. I mean, from book 1, he's just kind of a menace. He's just annoying. But once
he's
he
the
starts
older
to
jerk brother.
question his family, once he starts working for the ministry, like he just. For years, he just abandons his family. Like, you are so garbage. Like, you're going through war, your brother dies. Heavy spoiler alert.
I think that's actually when
You
he
miss
comes
your
back.
brother
Actually,
losing an heir. You miss your other brother, like...
no, I think he was at the Battle of Hogwarts.
No, yeah, but I think
That's when he like.
Oh, I think you did see.
That's when he finally.
You're
like,
right. You're right.
That's when he finally realized.
Okay,
I
you
done
made
effed
up to your brother 10 minutes before his death. Good for you. But no, you're a piece of garbage. You should have been there from the beginning. You should have died with him. I mean, that sounds dramatic. I'm just saying, And my point is, like, here, put it this way.
No,
We will let it go
from.
after this. Put it this way, though.
Is this your biggest gripe, or is there another gripe?
No. I'm just saying. This really puts it in perspective, okay? In book 7, when Ron's at home with Spattergroits, or whatever it's called, like, when that's his story for not going to Hogwarts,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta think of it this way. Percy believed that. Like, that's what Percy must have actually thought, because they wouldn't have let him in on the secret. Like, just think about, okay, let's reflect your life. Everything happens, blah, 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 blah. You're a piece of garbage. You abandoned your family, okay? Now, 7th book comes. Your brother leaves with Harry Potter to go hunt down Horcruxes. And everyone except the family, the close family, thinks, or knows, or yeah, everybody but the close family thinks he's at home with Spattergroits. And whatever that comes with it, Dudley, I don't know. But he's seriously, you can't go to Hogwarts. Now, you're the only person in your whole family, because you turned your back on them, that believes and doesn't know the truth, and you still don't go visit him. Your brother could be dying, and he still doesn't, because you know that they would tell him the truth if he went there, because they're good people. They're gonna welcome him back with open arms, and he doesn't even go to visit.
You bring up a really good point. Bring a really good point up, actually.
Like, you're there at the end. You come back at the end. Yeah, after it's already basically over. Now it's just up to Harry Potter to finish it. You do nothing. You leave your family.
I get you.
I hate Percy so much. Sorry. I'm sorry about that rant, guys, but my gosh, that guy is just garbage. Let's move on. Let's move on.
I mean, you ripped him a new one.
I can't, dude. I just can't.
So they're all going back. They go down to the Great Hall, where Harry, like you said, is amazed, and honestly, I would be too. At all the food and the party favors, the little firecrackers that pop open. They have stuff in them.
So cool. Like
I think they have like white mice and something else in them.
Well, they're like presents. He's like
grow
wizard's chest.
grow your own warts.
Yeah, he gets he gets like wizard's chest set and everything. He gets a bunch of gifts. Now,
like that's
yeah.
That's
now, can we just take a itty bitty tiny pause and just revel in the fact that Hogwarts firecrackers on Christmas gave him more presents in one semester than the Dursleys did in his entire life. Let's move on. Literally, he got better gifts in one like a little. And that's the thing. They're just supposed to be little like
trinkets, yeah.
Yeah, like little trinkets that you get, and like they're like poppers on the 4th of July. You know what I mean? They're just little treats that help bring in the spirit, and those like provided him with better Christmas gifts than he's ever gotten all together in his entire life, added up all together.
Right,
in his entire life
yeah.
from Dursleys. So sad. Poor Harry. Poor Harry.
We get to see Hagrid get drunk, and then kisses McGonagall on the cheek, to which
McGonagall's drunk.
Yeah, McGonagall has to be drunk because normally she's like Strickler, right? She giggles and blushes.
But however, sorry, I keep interrupting you, but so you gotta think too, though. Like McGonagall, I mean, those of you who don't know McGonagall's past, I do want to do a video, or not video, an episode on McGonagall. She's got actually very detailed history. She was married, and her husband died, and blah, 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 and she was in love with the Muggle.
Yeah, she was in love with the Muggle, and she actually traded life with a Muggle for this other guy.
Yeah, it was.
Not to say this guy wasn't terrible.
Right.
Like, he was a good guy.
Well, I think, yeah, it was just intense, and she had a very sad, she has a very sad backstory, but my point is, like, now she lives at Hogwarts, so, like, she obviously she's in teacher mode during the semester, but we don't really get to see her outside of teacher mode. The only time we do, at least that I can think of personally, besides Christmas and stuff, is at the Burrow, or not the Burrow, sorry, at Privet Drive in the very first chapter of the series.
And we also get to see
But
like,
she's
when
obviously,
Umbridge
like-
is being a jerk.
Well, yeah, but that's in front of students, though. I'm saying she's still.
But like we get to see a different side of her. Like
Right,
we get
but-
to see her actually defend. Like say this person's my friend. Go for
Right.
yourself.
No, I get that. Definitely. But she's also still in teacher mode, though. Like,
yeah.
she's still in authoritative mode. She's still in authoritative.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like we don't get to see her relax.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
just relax and stuff. And the only time we do see her outside of school and teacher mode is at Privet Drive in the very first chapter. But she's also like very like it's a lot. It's very crazy what's happening. So she's like stressed out because people are like the Muggles
So I can
are
understand
seeing
why she
kids
gets drunk.
right, and like here, it's like no students. I mean, students around, but like she doesn't have to necessarily be in teacher mode. They're drinking, they're having a good time. It's the holidays, so it's nice to see McGonagall let loose a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's a little interesting though. A little
Yeah,
interesting.
a
You're
little
like, oh, okay.
And
Even
Hagrid, God.
Okay.
Hagrid is just an alcoholic. I love Hagrid to death.
Yeah, no,
Top
he's-
5 characters, but he's an alcoholic.
There's no doubt. In my
But he has
mind
a hard
about
life, so I'll let him slide.
that. Yeah.
He still performs his duties while drunk. It's fine. Being sober or drunk,
He's a functioning.
and
we're not promoting that by any
Oh God,
means.
no! Unless if you're a half giant, like a legitimate half giant, then go ahead and be an alcoholic. If you're not, which you
aren't.
Yeah,
I guarantee
you aren't.
Because there's no giants.
and if we do have a half giant listening, please email us and let us know because that'd be really cool.
yeah, no. That would definitely
But
be cool.
I let it
Send
slide a
pictures.
little bit. But my point is, drunk or sober, he's just as much of a rock because he's still
Oh yeah, he gets his.
he has
stuff
a big
done.
mouth,
He gets his stuff done though.
but he gets his stuff done. Yeah.
So after the feast, Harry and the Weasleys they have a snowball fight until they get exhausted. And then they go back upstairs where they're eating some sweets and stuff, playing some wizard's chess. Harry, of course, loses again. Harry is terrible at wizard's
Right.
chess. And he kind of blames Percy for it because he's like, Percy's trying to give me hints and stuff like that. And then eventually they fall asleep. But before Harry falls asleep, he's got this nagging feeling. He's like, I have this invisibility cloak.
Right.
You know what? I want this to be my first time. Because he thinks about asking Ron to go with him.
That's very nice of that.
Okay. I didn't mean it like that. All right. I didn't mean it like that. But like he's like, this is
Well,
the
Ron's
first
sleeping.
important
He's like,
thing.
yeah, he's like Ron's sleeping. He's like, I'm just gonna go take a quick
Right.
nap.
Yeah,
I'm not
you know,
gonna
like
wake up on
when you have a
Christmas
first
night.
gift, you're like, you know what? I want the first time I use this
Right.
gift to be by myself.
Well, yeah, and I think it's also just kind of like Ron's already sleeping. He doesn't want to wake up on Christmas night, and he's just like,
Oh
yeah, I got you.
And he realizes he's like, this is my father's. He's never met his dad.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Right. I'm saying so like
Sure,
it
he
has,
has. He just doesn't remember it.
right, but it like, holds significance to
Yes,
himself.
yes.
He's like, okay, let's try this out. Roaming the halls, decides, you know what? Remember how I couldn't get in the restricted section? Let's try that again. Really terrible idea.
Yep.
Really terrible idea. Because, like I said, there's just a rope, right? And everybody else is asleep. Goes past the rope, opens a book. Doesn't know what's in
Opens
there.
a couple, but
Right, but like one of the first books he opens, screams.
yeah.
Come on, Harry.
Well, he doesn't know. I mean, he isn't. Why would there be a screaming book? That's weird.
Which,
It's restricted, I get that, but jeez.
Which is hilarious. Because, like, considering, like, you're in a restricted section, you would assume there's books that have, like, alarms and bells and whistles on them.
Right.
Of course, this alerts literally everybody in the vicinity, like, hey, somebody's where they're not supposed to be. Let's go get them. Which, of course, is Filch and Mrs. Norris. Mrs. Norris is the first to get there. She must be really light on her feet. And Harry's trying to hide. One of the first things that comes to mind is like, oh crap, can she see through this? Because she's not human, you know. And this is his first time going through with this, so he doesn't know. And then he hears Filch talking to Snape. he's terrified at this point, and that, you know, that's understandable. You know, you have Snape and Filch and Mrs. Norris coming after you. So, of course, Harry runs away. And at first he backs away as slowly as he can, so he's not making much noise. Runs away, not really paying attention where he's going. Ends up going into a door for a classroom, which I honestly, at first, when I was reading this, thought that this might be the room of requirement that this was put in. But then later comments by Dumbledore makes it seem like Dumbledore doesn't know about the room of requirement.
Right. And plus, like, we see later on, it's kind of hard for, like, Harry to take people to the room of requirement necessarily. Right. And he doesn't know. He has trouble until he knows what he's, like, until he learns about how to use the room of requirement.
Right. So I don't think this is the room of requirement. It would have been interesting if it was. But, again, don't think that's...
And if it was the room of requirement and Harry was thinking, I need a place to hide, I think it would have opened up that room that, like, where everybody hides their books and stuff, and Harry hides his potion book in year 6. I feel like that would have been that, but...
So, of course, goes in this classroom because he's trying to get away and sees a mirror. Magnificent mirror. As high as the ceiling, which does not happen in the movies.
It's pretty tall, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the mirror is, like, smaller. Ornate gold frame standing on 2 clawed feet. And it has an inscription on the top. I don't know how to pronounce that, but when you translate it and you flip it backwards, because it's backwards, it reads, I show not your face, but your heart's desire.
Right, and it's the mirror of Erised, which is the mirror of desire backwards. Well, desire backwards.
Right. So Harry's looking in this mirror, and he sees a bunch of people. He's like, what? Who are these people? Takes a look at this woman that he sees. She's got red hair. It's very interesting. He's like, wait, she's got green eyes. Green eyes like mine. And he sees a guy. This guy has the untidy hair, glasses like him. He realizes this is his family. He's looking at his family.
Yep.
The one thing he's always
Which I'm kind of mad that the books left, or the movies left out, because you only see his parents. I love to see the rest of his family.
Right, because they talk about an older...
Yeah, there's a bunch of people behind him, his whole family, and it just...
Which makes me wonder, like, does he also see Ignotus?
No, I don't think it goes back that far. I think it's just the cult, like, him and his parents.
Because he is... Ignotus is the youngest, right?
What?
Ignotus is the youngest brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's him and his parents and his grandparents, I believe. It's probably... I don't think it goes back that far.
You know,
but
really cool to see, like...
Right.
Maybe not see it because you don't get to actually see it, but to, like, hear about, you know, you getting to meet people that you didn't really get to spend time with.
Right. And real quick, on a side note, we're going to talk about it later on and more times, but it's kind of crazy. I'm not going to get into it now, but I'm just going to put the idea out there. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, like how Harry has no other relatives besides the Dursleys. Like, that means that James had no brothers or sisters. He was the only child. And obviously Lily had Petunia, and that was it. But that means both James and Lily's, all 4 of them, their parents are dead. And they died young. They died, I think, at 21. So that means their parents, I mean, if they were 30 when they had him, to be 51. That's young for 4 different people to be gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The grandparents also, like, I thought, like, they say wizards live. I mean, obviously Lily's parents weren't wizards, but they say wizards live longer. But now both of James's parents are also gone.
Well, and
Or
we
you
don't
know
know
what I
when
mean.
they had them. So
Oh wait,
it could be
never mind.
like
That is. I'm an idiot.
they could
That
be
is.
in their like, 40, like late 40s, early 60s, possibly.
Well, yeah, but still.
By the time like that Harry's born, so like, I know. I think it was actually James's parents that died of dragonpox.
I don't remember. It's one of them, but I think I don't know if they both do. Though I thought only one did.
I think they both do.
I'm gonna look it up. Well, no, I don't want to get into it right now. I'm not that worried about it right now. I just want to bring it up because it's crazy that like they're all young. I mean, even his great grandparents you would think would still be alive because James's parents would be like in their 50s or 60s, so their parents would be like if they had them around 30, 40 in their 90s or hundreds, and we know wizards and witches live longer than so like either they.
Oh, actually,
Either Harry's screwed for a short life, or
I think we actually looked that up one time, and we found
did.
out that like they actually died by Voldemort's hand.
No, not the
Like
parents. I don't. I was
Oh, it was.
the one says natural causes, and the other is like dragonpox or something. I'm not gonna look it up right now because I don't want to get too into it. We got to move on, or I don't want to get too off topic. I just wanted to bring it up because the first time we see the parents and the other relatives, it's like, where are they?
Yeah.
Wow, how are they not alive?
Because obviously we know that they're not.
I mean, look at
Actually, no, we don't know if they're living or not because like we know that
well, they're not. Harry's
Dumbledore has looked into it and seen somebody who is still alive. So
yeah, it's just your desire. I mean, Ron's seen himself,
right.
so it's just your heart's desire. His heart's desire is family.
Whoa. We'll get to Ron in a second.
Oh God, I don't like Ron. Okay, I do like Ron. I'm sorry, but he's so conceited.
So Harry's just been staring at this mirror, loses track of time. I think most of us would.
Right.
In that situation, we would just be sitting there for probably days on end watching this mirror. But eventually, he's like, you know what? I gotta go back to the plate. I gotta go up to the common rooms before I get caught.
Right.
And he says, I'll come back. Of course, he wakes up Ron, and he's like, hey. Ron's like, dude, you could have woken me up.
Right. Well, he tells Ron the next morning.
Right. And Ron's like, dude, why didn't you let me know? I'd have come with you. Of course, I don't think Harry really realizes how to get back there. Ron says, I'd like to see your mom and dad. God, I love how British people speak. Of course,
Right.
Harry's constantly thinking about this, so he's not really thinking about eating or having fun.
Right.
That's all he's focused on. And then, Harry's thinking, sorry about that. Give me a second. Oh, yeah, Harry's not caring about what the three-headed dog is guarding or if Snape is stealing anything. Ron notices. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're running a little on time, so
I
I'm
still
going to speed it up a
got
little
2
bit.
big theories to talk through. It's gonna take probably 20 minutes. So.
Alright. So I'm gonna go gist on this.
Yeah, I
the
would
gist
just
of it, like
Right.
Ron, like Harry and Ron.
It's just kind of
Yeah, sorry. This is the fun. Like I like this ending because like.
Right,
I
you're
started
good.
reading
You're
and
good. No, you're good.
I went actually 2 chapters ahead.
Yeah.
Because that's just how interesting this part is.
Right. Yeah, basically Ron and Harry.
Yeah. Harry's like, fine. Why don't you join me? Because I want you to meet my family. They go back. Took them a while to get back. Find out Ron sees himself as head boy, which eventually happens. Actually, no. Becomes prefect, doesn't become head boy. Because they're not there for 7th year. But he probably would have been.
What? I'm pretty sure he sees himself as head boy and Quidditch captain.
Right, but I'm saying, like, Ron becomes a prefect later on, but doesn't become head boy.
Right. And,
But he probably would have.
And he doesn't become Quidditch captain either.
Right, but he does become part of the Quidditch team.
Oh, yeah.
So he's kind of like seeing something that might eventually happen.
Right.
Or would have happened.
I don't think it would have been head boy, but I think Harry would have been head boy.
Probably.
But it's neither here nor there because they kill Voldemort instead. So,
which is, no offense, probably more important.
right.
So friggin' Ron's over here hogging the mirror. And Harry's like, dude, do I get a chance? Like, come on, man. Those are my parents and my family. I haven't seen... you can see all this stuff whenever the hell you want. I can't see my family. So they leave, and Harry comes back one more time. One more time. And as he steps in the room, he hears Dumbledore out of nowhere saying, "Back again, Potter?"
Yeah. And
And Harry's like, how long were you there? How long have you been there? And he's like, oh, you know, and he name drops Ron and talks about like, oh yeah, Ron wanted to be, you know, he saw himself being head boy and head Quidditch captain.
right. So
Which of course spikes Harry's interest. Is like, how did you know that? And he's like, I don't need a cloak to turn invisible, which is interesting because like I think he's one of the only people that can actually turn himself completely invisible that we know about, that we actually hear about. I think he's the only one.
I feel like there's somebody else, but yeah, I got you.
Oh, and Harry asks a really personal question. He's like,
What do you see?
What do you see? And Dumbledore's reply is socks. One can never have too many socks.
It's not wrong.
When Harry kind of gets an
your
inkling
dryer
that like he's lying, and I'm pretty sure he probably either saw Grindelwald.
I think his family. It's mentioned
family.
at this point he sees his family. I know Crimes of Grindelwald throws everybody off, but it's canon from J.K. Rowling that he saw his family.
Which is
Ariana.
still pretty sad.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's sad.
that they both kind of share that
Yeah.
sense of that they get to see family.
For two
that's
completely different reasons, but yeah.
Right, that they get to see their family.
Right. Dumbledore's out of guilt. Harry's out of the unknown.
Right. Never got to meet him, so yeah. And of course, Dumbledore warns him like, hey, just so you know, many people have gone mad looking at this thing because they can't tell what's real, what's not real.
Right.
You know, can I have this? Can I not have this? And tells him, don't go looking for it again because it's getting a new home.
Yeah.
Which we know eventually will be
at the end of the chamber.
The corridor.
Whatever it's called. The maze is what
with
I call
the stone.
Right.
Inside of it.
Well, no, not inside of it. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
Just some interesting magic.
Yeah, it's weird magic, but it's not really inside of it. It's just... Okay, that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, it's a longer chapter. So sorry
but
if
it's
it
not
ran
the
a
end
little
of
bit
the
long.
episode, guys. It is not the end of the episode because I'm about to blow some mind. Okay.
Sorry it took so long.
No, it's okay. It's just I have a lot. It's gonna run a little late, but that's fine because I want to make sure we get all this in the open. So I kind of saved my notes for the end, just because they all kind of tie together. So the thing about this chapter is it's all kind of like one big piece. And the reason, first of all, the reason I say it's not important is because, I mean, besides the fact that Harry sees the mirror and learns what its use is, everything else is just kind of like plot point.
Yeah, it's like background.
It's just not really necessary. Everything would go fine without it. But it is super important that he knows the mirror because that helps him later when he to achieve the stone.
Right.
But anyway, so
I talked for long enough.
So first of all, I just have a cool little fun fact about invisibility cloaks because it's actually not the only one. It is the one like that's from the story, the original. But here, it's mentioned. I'm not sure which book it was in, but it's mentioned that demiguise. So a demiguise is a peaceful herbivorous beast. That something like a graceful ape, blah blah blah. Basically, it's a cute little beast that isn't going to hurt you. However, the one thing it does noted is demiguises can make themselves invisible when feeling threatened. So, if you were to, this is going to sound savage, but if you were to Acquire a demiguise pelt, meaning skinning it. You could weave an invisibility cloak out of it. So you would wear the cloak and make it invisible because it's made out of their fur. And they can go invisible. So basically, you can use demiguise pelts to spin an invisibility cloak. So you can make invisibility cloaks. They're just rare and
also
extremely expensive.
Theshrals are also another creature that are invisible.
Right, but they can't make themselves invisible, though. You know what I mean? They can't turn invisible and back to invisible. There's invisible to people that have not witnessed a death. Or not processed, I guess, is what the canon behind it is. Processed death. But anyways, I thought that was interesting because
that goes into that.
It's not many people know that there are more than just one invisibility cloak, but there's only one true invisibility cloak that was woven from Death himself.
Right. Well, and they kind of go into the fact that like there's other cloaks that are based on like you can do charms on it.
Right.
But one, they're not perfect, and two, they don't last very long.
Right, and like there's disillusionment charms, which Moody uses on Harry when they leave the Privet Drive in the 5th book, makes them invisible basically, and
Dumbledore is using, but like a more advanced form.
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually I looked hard. It's not really said what Dumbledore uses, but the way he makes it sound, it kind of. So when I think of that, I compare it to the way that Voldemort does broomless flight or unassisted flight. It's like nobody really knows how he does it. He just is able to do it.
That's like the pinnacle of the specialty.
Right. So, but anyway, I thought that was interesting. The other thing I wanted to point out real fast, just because I remember looking this up too, so that Screaming book, because people are insane. People like from the movie like read words and whatever. Basically, they put together that they think the book is the works of the most reverend Dr. John Tillotson. That's the book that does the screaming. It's not canon, but that's what people have taken from the movie. They took words and different phrases that they saw from the movie, and when he opened the book, and basically figured out like that's the book they're from.
Oh, okay.
Crazy. Just saying, that's the insanity between Potterheads, man. They will do that, and I love it. I love it so much. Anyways, so those are 2 little things to get off my chest. Now, here comes the big hitters. Where do we want to start? Okay, let's start with answering your question. Why does James give Dumbledore the invisibility cloak?
Because it must have been, like, literally maybe days, weeks.
No, I think he actually had it longer than he intended. He meant to give it back sooner, but he just didn't. He didn't, because they were under the Fidelis charm. He didn't think it was like a super urgent to get it back because he was already like undetectable. You know what I mean? So the reason that James borrowed it to him is Dumbledore wanted to basically examine it because he goes all the way back to him and Grindelwald in the search for the Deathly Hallows.
Right.
So he had already given up way after this, but he knew he had the Elder Wand, so he knew they existed.
At this point, he has 2. 2 of the 3.
No, he did not have the Resurrection Stone yet.
No, he has 2 of the 3.
What do you mean?
He has the Elder Wand.
Yeah.
And now the cloak.
Well, yeah. At this point, yes, because he examined it. So he wanted to take it for examination because he was still trying to, like, figure out. He did it out of, like, he was over it at that point, but once he found out that James had one, he was curious about it. He wanted to examine it and
to find out if
he let his curiosity and his schoolboy obsession basically like take over and result in James' death, kind of, which is my next point. So what happens now if James has the invisibility cloak? If he doesn't loan it to Dumbledore, if Dumbledore doesn't ask to borrow it out of greed, which is one of Dumbledore's flaws, is he's flawed. Everybody's flawed. It's fine, but
and I think you don't really get to see those flaws until you get much older and you see those flaws.
Right.
Like you pick them out and you're like, that's a flaw, that's a flaw.
Right, and that's the thing. That shows that's the difference between. Everybody has flaws. That's the difference, and a lot of people will pick on Dumbledore for his flaws, and I will occasionally too. That's the difference between a good person and I don't know the word, not a good, but a great person and a regular person. A regular person's flaws shine through, and they shine through their character. They make flaws in daily. Everyone can see that. Dumbledore, he has flaws, but because he's able to, because he's so wise and knowledgeable, he
recognizes his flaws and tries to curb them as best he can.
Yes, basically. But anyways, my point is now if James has the invisibility cloak,
I think he still dies. Because if you think about it, like, I feel like in terms of, like, abilities, Voldemort and Dumbledore are, like, pretty evenly matched. So I assume, because it's shown and hinted at very heavily that Dumbledore can see through invisibility cloaks.
I did look that up too, because I knew that was a thing.
Even if he can't see through, he's aware.
Well, I think it's a charm. What it is like in was it this one where he sees, or maybe it's Chamber of Secrets, I think, when they're in Hagrid's hut and he knows he's there. Dumbledore knows the boys are there under the invisibility cloak. There's a charm, and I can't remember it now, but it's like, there's a charm you can do to, like, see through, like, see people. It's
a charm that, like, because, like, that's makes them, that's Death's cloak. And, like, it's hinted that, like, that cloak literally
which is why I don't think that the spell is like that. I think it's just Dumbledore. So I don't know if it's not the spell. Here's my theory: is if it's not the spell, because that's the thing. It's supposed to make you truly invisible, not like it's a regular invisibility cloak, like the one made from there that can be seen through because it's just a cover. This is makes you truly invisible. So I think it's just Dumbledore being Dumbledore. I don't know the answer to that.
Maybe his heightened senses, so, like,
so
even
maybe
though he can't see you, like, they say, like, it doesn't mean that you don't make noise.
Right.
That, like,
but
the other senses.
Yeah, regardless of that, I think that's just a Dumbledore trait. If that's the case, maybe Voldemort wouldn't know they were there. So let's just say, let's play it out real quick. James knows that he's coming. Lily has the cloak on her. She covers her and Harry, opens the window, makes it look like she, like, apparated out. Or maybe not open the window. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Maybe, like, James yells, apparate, quickly. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, yes, it's a very far stretch, but I'm just saying, right before Voldemort kills him, apparate, quickly, get out of here. And then she throws an invisibility cloak on. And maybe they,
maybe.
I'm just saying.
I don't get me wrong. I do think it's a good, like, theory, but honestly, I think that even if he can't see through it, I feel like Voldemort would double check.
Well, yeah, he would, but if he can't see him, how is he gonna? I think they probably would have ended up dead too. I'm just saying it could have possibly made a difference. A lot of things have made a difference if James wasn't so, like, stupid. He would have had his freaking wand on him. Maybe, no, you probably don't battle Voldemort and win, but you can apparate out of there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I was always worried about. Can they not do wandless magic? Like, you don't need a wand to apparate, as far as I remember. It's not a spell. I don't remember ever having to sit, like, hearing about a wand being part of apparition.
No.
So why did they not just apparate?
Maybe they weren't able to because of the
Fidelis charm? I don't think so. It shouldn't stop you from apparating. I don't know.
Actually, I mean, because no, matter of fact, most of the places that we've seen that have the Fidelis charm, you can't apparate in or out. Hogwarts can't apparate in or out. Well,
that's not the Fidelis charm. That's an actual different. That's because you used to be able to. We know if you watch Crimes of Grindelwald.
Grimwald Place has one.
Yeah, but that's harder though because it's also.
I mean, it also probably has other charms, but.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can't. I'm just speculating. Maybe
like you said, like I assume. Even though
then that's their fault for not having a plan. There's got to be something they can do. That's their fault for not having a plan B. That's Philosophers. Anyways, that's not what we're getting into right now. There'll be plenty of time to talk about the stupidity of Lily and James. I love them so much. Don't get me wrong, but that's the problem is they don't. There's no plan B there. But anyway, so now that was my other thing is, well, that's kind of the other note I had is just Dumbledore being able to go invisible. We kind of talked about it. So I'm going to move on, though, because I could keep talking about this, but I think I kind of got my point across. And I do have one more thing I want to discuss, which is going to be kind of... It might not be that difficult to. It might not be that long, but it's kind of like the whole takeaway from this whole chapter. This is why I say this chapter is pointless, because one thing, if this happens, there is no chapter. I mean, there's still Christmas, but half the chapter's gone. So, obviously, Dumbledore uses the mirror for the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, just because it's Dumbledore, my assumption is he didn't figure this out halfway through the school year. He's probably his original plan to use the Mirror of Erised for the Sorcerer's Stone. His OG plan. I think that's pretty basic. That's what his plan was.
Yeah.
So why on earth? Why? And this is the problem with Hogwarts and Dumbledore always doing these things. I have one answer, but I'm still not convinced with it. Why would he put the Mirror of Erised out in the open, in a random corridor, where anybody can access it?
Because he did say, like, at the end, he says there's a reason that Quirrell couldn't touch it. Quirrell could see it, but could not have it.
Right, because he wanted to use it. So that's my point, is what's the point of the whole corridor then? If you don't even put the Mirror of Erised in there to begin with.
To make even people who don't want to use it for, like, their own game, make it harder to get to. Just in general.
Yeah, but he doesn't even put it in there at first. He doesn't put it in there until after he catches Harry being obsessed with it. So why not put it in there from the very beginning? Now, the one theory I read is that it's a decoy, which, okay, that makes somewhat sense. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had to do a quick little break because there was some weird noises outside.
Somebody was angry at somebody and honked.
Yeah, it was just like a really weird one. Anyways, so basically my point is, it's just like, I have a couple points here. Like, number one, fine, you use it as a decoy. That makes somewhat sense, but at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna make the chamber anyway, why would you not just use it? Like, if they already know it's there, like, nobody's gonna think of the Mirror of Erised anyway, so why even make the whole chamber? Why make it obvious that there's something in the castle? You know what I mean? It's just, that's what I mean. It's all plot pointed. Because, then the other thing I read is he wanted Harry, which makes more sense. He wanted Harry to cross it because he knew that Harry was gonna have probably, like, either people say he wanted to test Harry, that the whole showdown with Quirrell was
Harry
a test.
was more like him and wanted it for power.
Well, yeah, and
or
just
that,
if
like,
Harry could do it, like,
yeah,
if he was selfless enough. But also, I don't like that. I don't like that theory because, because if Harry fails, Dumbledore knows. You gotta remember, Dumbledore knows that Harry can defeat Voldemort. He's the only one that can do it. He knows this from the prophecy, or he knows that he's got extra. So I get, okay, yes, test him, but you're going to, like, well, what if Quirrell killed Harry? Like, it was very possible. If he had tried to, instead of strangling him, just, Avada Kedavra, forget it. It's over. You know what I mean? Like, why would he even risk it? So that's number one. So that's why I don't like the testing, because testing somebody would be like, and like, what if he failed with Fluffy, or he drank the wrong potion? You know what I mean? There's so much that can go wrong along the way, and then you're like, oh crap, that was our chance. I probably should have took better care of it. Like, you can test an 11-year-old differently.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So I don't like the testing. But the other theory I had was he wanted Harry to, I don't think he intended for Harry to do everything he did, but he wanted Harry to cross the mirror because he knew at some point that Harry was going to end up with the Sorcerer's Stone. That he was going to end up in front of the mirror again. Because it's hard. It's so hard, but it's Dumbledore. Dumbledore's insane. Like, he believes that his hunches are usually correct, or his guesses are usually correct. So he probably guessed that Harry would find a way to end up in front of the mirror again, and he wanted to make sure that Harry would be able to, would know what it means. But that's what I'm saying, is it just doesn't make sense.
Like, it seems a little
in hindsight. So, like, why just avoid all of that? Like, okay, why not just avoid all of that? And when Snape, who is your spy, is like, hey, Quirrell is working with Voldemort. Just be like, all right, let's just get rid of Quirrell then. Let's just cut it off now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Adios. Goodbye. Get him out of here. Put him in Azkaban. I don't care what you do. Get him out of here. Like, why even play these games?
Yeah, I don't know.
Literally, Snape can read minds, and it's mentioned that Snape...
Was that in this chapter? No, that's next chapter. Never mind.
Oh, I don't know. But Snape can read minds, and it was theorized that Snape probably read Voldemort's mind inside of Quirrell. And if he didn't, then he probably read Quirrell's mind, unless they were both skilled occlumens, which I've never heard about.
Right.
So, obviously Snape knew he was up to something, and Snape, like, while Snape does kind of, like, you know, jump at things a little bit hasty, like, he also has good cause usually. Like, not good reasoning, but, like, there is a actual...
We actually get the occlumency thing
cause.
in the next chapter, actually.
Oh, do you? Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not saying that Snape's right when he jumps at people, but there is usually a somewhat of a cause behind it. He doesn't just attack people randomly. Like, even when he's being a jerk to Hermione and Ron and Harry and all them, it's because they remind him of the Marauders.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm gonna stop there. I mean, I'm just gonna let it be what it is. I don't really know the answer. I'm gonna keep looking. I can't find it. But basically, it's like, what's the true reason behind him not just using the corridor right away?
Right.
You know what I mean? If he has it there already, might as well use it. And like you said, if somebody happens to make it to the mirror, which is already going to be a challenge, it's very rare that they're actually going to end up with the Sorcerer's Stone anyway, and then they're just going to be like, oh crap, this is all for nothing.
Right.
So.
Ooh.
Which I would love to learn the magic behind that. But go ahead.
The magic behind what?
The mirror. And how it worked that way. Because all he says was, I impressed myself.
That's Dumbledore for you.
Right. Alright.
Ooh. So, I have an idea for a question of the week.
Okay. Just go ahead.
I was wanting to know everybody else's opinion on what you would see in the mirror of Erised.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. I don't want that question. It's just too personal. I just don't want people feeling like they can't answer it because it's too personal.
Okay, well...
See, and if you do... Okay, side note. If you want to send that to us and either have us read it on the podcast, on the episode, or just read it to ourselves and not put it out there, then you feel more than free to do so. You can also send us questions if you want. But I don't want to make that the question of the week because I don't want to scare people off from answering it because that's a pretty deep question.
Okay.
Harry.
See, I like asking the deep question.
It is a good question, but it's a little too... I think it's a little personal. Like your deepest desire.
Okay.
You know, like I said, if you want to answer it, feel free. I'm sure Trevor would love that, but I want to try to keep our question of the week a little more general that everybody can answer. Like the one we put on our website, you know? So, I had an idea that I forgot. So yeah, that's a thing. that's a thing.
While you're remembering that, next week we're going to be going over Chapter 13, Nicholas Flamel.
Yes.
Yes. I kind of read ahead, because, like I said, I really liked the Mirror of Erised parts, so it was just like, oh, didn't even realize on the next chapter until I was doing the summary. But we're in for a really fun chapter. I'll tell you that. Some foreshadowing happens in there. Obviously, we learn about Nicholas Flamel, or at least parts of him.
Right. I had a question. I figured it out.
All
right. So here's the question of the week for everybody that would like to answer. Our question is, if you could pick one wizarding item or one gift from the wizarding world for Christmas, what would it be? For example, I think I would want to get an invisibility cloak. I think that'd be a cool gift to have. And I'm probably going to change that later, but just because it's on my mind, I'm sure. But like that'd be something cool. What about you, Trevor? What would you? So you can pick one thing from the wizarding world to have for a gift. Anything at all. Literally anything. I'd probably say a 50-cent pence.
Right, yeah. But that's not from the Wizarding World. That's from... Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I'm kidding.
I don't know. See, I'm torn between either the cloak. I feel like the cloak is really cliche because everybody wants a cloak.
It's about being invisible. I'm already invisible, basically. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Or... God, what was the other thing I wanted? I can't remember the other thing.
I don't know. I don't know what you wanted. Alright, well, wizard chest.
Oh, the Philosopher's Stone. More so for like the...
yeah, okay.
Well, just because...
Yeah, I know, no, you're fine. You're right. That's a good...
Well, because like for the
that's
gold
a good
and
answer.
stuff,
It
like
was
to
just
transmutate
funny.
things and whatnot.
No, it's a good answer. It's just funny.
Oh.
It's a funny answer, just because I was not thinking that at all, actually.
Because I mean, it
or
would
wizard
offer...
chest would be really cool to have.
Oh, actually... You know what? I'm going to change mine to wizard's chess. Because I like chess.
Forget eternal life. I want to play chess.
I mean, if I can have both.
Okay. Why not the both? Okay. Anyways, guys, so let us know your answer. You can do that at our email, Hedwigs Army Podcast at yahoo.com. You can let us know on Twitter at Hedwigs_Army. You can even let us know on our website if you just want to go to a one-stop shop for a little bit of everything. Head on over to hedwigsarmy.com. Hedwigsarmy.com. You can answer the question of the week there. You can find us on all the different social media platforms. You can find other places to listen to us. And newestly, we added 2 things to the website that we're super excited about.
Yes,
So you can now join us and support us on Patreon. You can select between 4 different tiers on there, and they range from $1 to $10 a month. And you get special benefits and bonus content by different perks and bonus content by pledging to us, and as well as obviously helping support us and help us upgrade our software, our equipment, and all the different things needed for podcasting so that we can make the listening experience bigger and better.
Because that's something that we do this for you guys.
Yeah, oh yeah. We do this for ourselves because we love talking about Potter, but we could talk about Potter on the way to and from work every day. We record and put it out for you guys to learn, listen, and interact with.
Yeah, so we can get like your opinions because it's just me and Josh here, so you know,
or
we have our own opinions, but like we kind of know each other's opinions, so we can kind of guess like, oh, this is where he's gonna go with this,
right?
Or this.
Yeah, and everyone has different thoughts and different ideas, and listening to us might spark some interest in your mind, like, oh, I didn't think of it that way, maybe this or that, And I love theories, so I love theories so much, and I listen to Harry Potter podcasts myself, and sometimes I'm like, wow, I never thought of that. That opens up a really great theory, and I've already have some thoughts from other books that I can't wait to discuss when we get there.
Gross.
But speaking of connecting, the other thing we're excited about is we have officially launched our Hedwigs Army Discord server. You can also find the invite code on our website under the Connect tab, and you just join that with the code, and you will start off as a Muggle, and you follow some of the rules and the guidelines and the welcome feast channel, and you will be sorted into your house, and then you can chat with us, and you can ask questions, chat with other people, and patrons, if you join Patreon, you get exclusive patron-only Discord channels, which range from, you have your own voice channel to talk in, you have there's a channel that we will be speaking in when we record. After we get some patrons in there, we're going to join the channel, the voice channel, while we're recording, so you can hear us live. And there will be a chatting channel, a text
kind of nervous
channel.
about that, but
yeah, there'll be a text channel that you can chat with us during our live recording, so we can you know what I mean? You will see you guys. We'll be able to respond to you during the recording, and it'll be really fun. And on top of that, we have a couple other servers, and you can chat about theories and things. So please check that out. If you know Discord at all, I guarantee you this is going to be a super awesome Discord server to join. And at the very least, you can talk to us and tell us how wrong we are or how right we are, or answer the question of the week on Discord. You can do that too.
Or heck, you guys can contact us because one of us will probably be on.
Yeah, I'm on all the time. I'm on right now.
So, like we said, always feel free to contact us.
Yeah, and it would be it's super exciting. So if any of that sounds good, then make sure to go to our website and check out all those fun things, and go on iTunes and rate and review us so that we can grow and get our podcast out there. And then the sky's the limit, guys. So with your help, with a little bit of your help, a couple minutes of your day, you can make our day and make our week and make our year and help us grow, which will in turn help us produce better content for you guys. So there's my sell out for the week. That's all I got. I think that kind of covers everything. You got anything else you want to?
No, I think you covered everything, man.
All right, well then, like always, until next time, guys, mischief managed. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to help out the podcast, please head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review. Also, please subscribe to the Hedwigs Army YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Hedwigs_Army. If you would like to contact us, you can email us at hedwigsarmypodcast@yahoo.com or visit www.hedwigsarmy.com and head over to the contact tab. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Hedwigs Army.
Every great wizard in history has started out as nothing more than what we are now, students. If they can do it, why not us?